First of all, I want to thank you for coming in today. For me, it's been a tough weekend, and I appreciate you guys making arrangements to come in today for this. But before we begin, we got old Dunker here with us. We got a big weekend planned other than the game, even though they're both very important. But this is our Protect and Serve game. Salute to all of our troops and veterans. We want to recognize this weekend as well our local police, the fire departments, all the first responders of Murray and this western Kentucky region. And basically, we just want to show great appreciation for all those that go above and beyond to protect us here and abroad this Saturday morning during our ball game. Our pregame, we'll have pregame displays over on the open end of the stadium starting at 9 o'clock in the morning. We got the 101st Airborne from Fort Campbell will be here. All the veterans of Murray and Callaway, the Murray City Fire and Police Department, the National Guard, and Blue Star Moms, which is a great organization. And if those that will attend the pregame ceremonies over there, you'll have a chance to sign Christmas cards so that they can be sent overseas to the troops, courtesy of the Blue Star Mom. So we ask that you get involved with that, pay your tributes, pay your homage to all those folks that allow us to be able to enjoy the game of football and all the other sporting events that take place across the country each and every week. And even as we kick into a new season basketball starting, we're just very fortunate to have that. So Dunker and I, we'd like to, give me some five there, Dunker, so all the little kids out there know you're a pretty good fella. We'd encourage everyone to come out, visit the Salute and Protect Day for us, or Serve and Protect Day from 9 to 11:30. And then let's get ready for some Racer football, and that's the reason we're here today. So to start that off, we had a very tough game, as all of you know. I thought that Dunker can sit up here with me if he wants to. You want to sit up here, Dunker? Yeah, I need old Dunker on my side. Let me slide over here by you. After you get beat, man, you appreciate all the friends that you have. So I appreciate Dunker, but very difficult game. I thought that we played well in the first half, and then there was a 4-minute span in the third quarter that just did us in. It seemed like that quarter lasted 2 hours. The wind picked up. I was just hoping to get out of the quarter down 14, get the ball back, and maybe make something happen with the wind in maybe push us across the goal line. But we got a lot of issues. We're having trouble scoring, which is always difficult, hard to win if you can't score. Defensively, we played well for a while, but gave up a couple big plays there during that 4-minute span. And then our special teams, they were just kind of average, and it's very disappointing. UT Martin's a team that's had our number. We talk about, I don't know how many years they've beaten us out of, I know we beat them the first year I was here, but other than that, we have not had much success against them. But each week brings new opportunities and new challenges, and this week's no different. We're getting ready to play the number 2 ranked team in the country at our place, so we got to be excited about that, and we got to have a great week of preparation headed into the ball game. Any questions?
Watching the film, what did you think of the lack of passing game? What did you think were some of the problems there?
Well, I think that when we do have guys open, we're not seeing them. And then then we get very conservative because of we're concerned about the decisions being made at the quarterback spot, and then we get very predictable and call just base stuff. And there were 6, I'd say I know 6, maybe 7 times that we ran some bread and butter stuff and they were just covered. No fault of the QB in that situation. So. We've been very conservative all year trying to break a new quarterback in. But then what's happened is we've just been very predictable in what we've done. And they had a good game plan. They played us differently than they played everybody all season. They didn't blitz maybe a handful of times. So they played a lot more zone. And it was just made for a long day.
What kind of changes are you guys going to make going into the week?
Well, we played Parks there in the end of the third and the fourth quarter, and I thought he did some nice things. We put him in a very tough situation. you're down 14, then we were down 21. He did throw an interception, had a couple high balls over the middle, which are no good. But it was, hey, go in there and let's see if you can create a spark for us. So we're going to let those two guys battle, him and Mikhail, this week. They battle every week. It's just this week they'll be under a little more scrutiny than they normally are. And you know, we're going to have to be a little more creative on offense, and you know that's something that in the 3 years we've been here, we've done a great job of window dressing what we've done. We only run about 6 or 7 plays, but we've given the illusion that we do a lot more, and people know that. During the off week, we really went back to the basics to try to open it up more for Mikhail. But when you have a new quarterback, it's hard to, you know, he gets confused where the guys are. And I remember my first year under Hal Mumme, I was the same way. You get confused out of all the multitude of formations. So that hurt us. I mean, that was the difference why we couldn't move the ball. So, you know, we're going to have to go create some plays for our guys, no matter who the quarterback is, and we're going to have to be able to run the ball more consistently because right now that's pretty much all we can do offensively.
How concerned are you, you know, 2 of the last 3 losses, the Stone Dogs and he lost, now with the hard part of schedule coming up, BIU, you know, Tennessee State, and East Kentucky, how concerned are you about the football team right now, just trying to turn things around?
Well, I'm always concerned. You know, I think, you know, I thought headed into the season we were probably, you know, similar to what we've been, you know, right around a 500 team, hoping that we would catch a few breaks here or there. And, you know, SEMO was a pivotal game that we didn't win. This past week was a very pivotal game that we didn't win as far as the overall record is concerned. But, yeah, we do. We have the meat of the schedule coming up. So, you know, we'll go in heavy underdogs this week. You know, but we just got to continue to play better. We got a long ways to go. I knew that going into the season. You know, we got to have some guys that step up in the big games. And the other night we had a few guys that didn't. That was very disappointing. So yeah, I mean, you know, I knew this was a tough part of our schedule. You know, normally we get to this point of the season and we hadn't won. You know, it looks like we're struggling, and then they say, man, y'all had a great push at the end of the year. Well, that's normally because we play all the really good teams at the beginning of the year, and we played the teams that were more our level at the end of the year. This year it's switched, so we got to find a way to make some magic happen these last couple weeks.
Of course, BIU, they score, you've got that great offense. So just talk about dealing with that, knowing that you're going to have to keep up with them in that sense.
Well, I would like to say that we could go in and be in a shootout with those guys, just like we were last season, and we could have the previous 2 seasons. You know, one thing about it is our guys, you know, they believe they can win the game against EIU. You know, we've won 2 out of 3 against them, and last year they beat us in overtime. So that, you know, that's one hurdle that you know we don't have to overcome this week. But I think the big thing with EIU is you can't get behind early. They try to go out there and Mike Tyson you, knock you out in the first 90 seconds of the match, and then you find yourself getting out of your game plan just trying to keep it close. So we got to do a good job early on, not letting them come out and land too many big blows, if you will. But they're very talented. Nobody's played them real close. SIU played them pretty close, and Northern Illinois is the only team that beat them, and you know they're a top 20 team in the FBS, and that was a 3-point ball game. So I think the big thing, though, is as good as Garoppolo is and Laura and their offense is people often forget about how good they are on defense. I mean, they may have one of the best defenses in the conference. You're not number 2 in the country for only having one phase of the game good. They're a very good football team, and they're very well coached, and it is what it is going to be a very difficult task for our team.
How have they made that improvement defensively in a year? Because they weren't really good last year defensively.
They got better. They got better as the season went on, and you know, I think you look at Oregon. Oregon's one of the best defenses in the country. Maybe not statistically, because they score so many points. The game's out of hand, and they get a lot of backups in the game, and maybe they play a little softer than they normally would late in the game. Same with EIU. They get so far ahead that, you know, hey, everybody on the team gets to go in there and play. And last year, you know, a lot of that happened the same. And, you know, you look at us last season offensively, I mean, we score on anybody. You know, we score 50 points on anybody we lined up against. So, you know, I just think last year's game was it was a fun game all the way till they got the 2-point conversion in overtime.
Something specific on Jimmy Garoppolo, on just kind of the quarterback he is. What do you like?
Well, he's big and he has a quick release, very good understanding of the offense, and more importantly than that, he's got great playmakers that can do things after the catch, and that's a big key for us this week. Is when they do throw it underneath, that we do a nice job of tackling. And not give them any yards after the catch. But he's a talented player. I would think you know, he's one of the best quarterbacks in all of college football. You know, top 10 at least. Ty and I, we talk about that all the time at breakfast. That he's one of the best that I've seen.
Obvious question, of course. 2 losses, we OVC teams don't generally win the championship that way. Do you talk to your team about we need to win this to keep our playoff hopes alive, keep the OVC championship hopes alive, so forth and so on?
Well, I mean, that's a little bit of a motivating factor that you still have some goals that are still out there for you. But, you know, we just talk about being the best that we can be each and every day. I know that's an old cliche, but that's what, when you're trying to build a program, that's what you have to do. And I think right now, you know, with our team, and I tell them that, I'll tell them again today that, you know, I can't promise you that if you come to work every day and you prepare to the best of your ability, do everything we ask you to do, that you're going to be successful. But I can promise you that if you don't come to work every day, you don't do all the things that we ask you to do, you won't be successful. You got no chance. So that's what the attitude mentality that we have is, let's come and prepare. Let's do the best we can every day. And if we do that, you know, at the end of the game, if you don't have more points than the other team, you can't hang your head down about it. They were just better than you. So that's the mentality we have to get. And some weeks we have it, and some weeks we don't. And I think the biggest thing with us is and I've said it from day one, I said it back in the spring, is we are a very inconsistent football team. And we have to become more consistent in order to compete for championships.
When you watch EIU on film, they look like the best OVC team you've seen in your tenure here.
Yeah, oh yeah, no doubt about it. I mean, they're really they don't have any weaknesses. They're good on the special teams. They're playing with a lot of confidence. You know, they're really, really good, and they take great pride in beating you down. And when you got it rolling like that, it's fun. I've had it rolling like that before, and it's a lot of fun when you do that. They expect to win each and every week, and they just get on you so early, and then all of a sudden you're trying to play catch up the whole game, and most teams aren't good enough to do that.
How are you guys injury-wise? I know Dwayne wasn't able to play.
Yeah, he's still hobbled a little bit by the foot, and he's more of a side-to-side runner. I'm not a downhill guy as much as the other guys, so his ankle's affecting him, or foot is affecting him a little more than maybe a normal back. See how he progresses this week. I talked to him yesterday about, hey, focus, man, we got to have you playing. He's such a dynamic player for us. But I was really proud of Marcus Holiday. You know, I think, you know, he's a redshirt freshman. I think he could be as good as we've had in a long time when it's all said and done. So we're very fortunate that Marcus came in and played well.